All right, girls, welcome to tonight's team call. It is Monday, May 10th. We are super excited to have all of your beautiful faces here. If you're catching the recording, that's awesome too. Let us know if you have any questions. I do want to make a quick announcement for all of you before Mindy takes over for tonight. We have been kind of talking back and forth, and Kate kind of presented the idea, but as you know, most of us are a good handful of us have been doing 75 hard for 43 days now, and having really good results and just really an awesome mindset shift. So it's caused a lot of interest and questions and striking conversations. I know for myself, I've had people say that I've inspired them to start it and they're doing it now. And Kate's had a lot of conversations too. And Clarissa on our team has had crazy bananas results, and she's not actively coaching. She is a coach, she's not actively coaching, but she's been sharing a lot and getting a lot of feedback on her page as well. So we were kind of brainstorming, and we are going to do a 30-day challenge starting June 1st through June 30th. And we are still kind of ironing out the details, but the short of it is they will do a Beachbody workout and then some sort of extra workout, whether it's a walk outside, like maybe 20 minutes instead of another 45-minute workout, at least half their body weight in water a day, aiming for a gallon a day. They will pick one of our nutrition programs, so either To Be Mindset or Ultimate Portion Fix, and follow that and track it, and do the personal development, like we've been doing the reading 10 pages a day. But we're gonna soften it a little bit so that it feels a little bit more doable. And we're gonna do 30 days instead of 75 days, so that again, it doesn't seem so intimidating to start or to do. Yes, it would be any Beachbody workout. We're just going to require that they have BOD because we are going to run the group through BOD groups. And in order to have access to that, they will need to have Beachbody on demand. Okay. So we're going to iron that out here in the next few days. If you haven't seen one of us post it, when you do 75 hard, they actually have an app, and it allows you to track. So each day that you mark, it fills that day in red when you've completed the day. So what I'm going to do, or have my assistant work on, is a template that's similar. It's not going to be an app because we're not paying to have an app created, but it'll be a template that has day 1 through 30, kind of like this has 1 through 75, and they could simply, and at the bottom, it has the daily rules, like what you have to achieve each day. We'll have that at the bottom of the template as well. And then they can just simply on their phone cross off each day and then share that in the group too, because there is definitely a connection and something satisfying about checking off when you have completed a certain day. So we're excited for that. It'll be just for the month of June at this point. So it'll be a fresh challenge group that we can all kind of participate in, have some good focus, and bring a different spin to a challenge group and make it fun for new people coming in and current customers too. So I just wanted to share that with all of you. If you have questions, let us know. But like I said, we're still kind of working out all the fine details, and we'll have more information in the group once we have that ironed out. I am going to, yes, let us know if you want to help with the group as well. I think we're going to make it pretty simple, some sort of motivational quote in the morning, nothing too crazy, and then have an evening check-in where they share that they've checked off their day and maybe their tracker for their food or something like that. So that's all I have. I'm going to pass it over to Mindy, and she is leading our call tonight.
All right, thank you. I feel like that was a really good intro, because what I will be talking about tonight is motivation versus discipline. So I know from the period of time that I was doing 75 hard and from these guys doing it that it takes both because you're not going to get through 75 days just on motivation alone, and probably not even 30 days just on motivation alone. So I've got a bunch of notes here. I'm going to make it a little bit interactive, at least with like pen and paper. So if you want to grab a pen and paper, but I am going to be talking about the difference between and the reasons for having motivation and discipline when you are specifically working towards a behavior change. So we are like, I will be talking about a couple specific examples, but just a behavior change in general is kind of what we're looking at. So the the difference, I mean, when you look at motivation versus discipline, and I'll kind of talk a little bit of specifics about what each are, but I would say they are definitely very different. I don't think one is necessarily better than the other. I think that they're both important and they both serve a purpose depending on what you're doing and where you are in the change that you're trying to make. But they do both come into play, and you'll kind of lean on one versus the other depending on where you're at. So motivation, think of this as more of a short-term drive. So this is going to work typically, like initially, if you're starting something new, you're super excited about it, you're like jazzed up, you're ready to get going. Motivation is going to come in handy when you have like that short period of time, but it can definitely wear off. And it's going to be influenced a lot by your emotions. So, like, again, when you have like your motivations high, you're starting something new, think of like New Year's resolutions, things like that. You're like all excited, you're happy, you're ready to go. And then as time goes on, some of those feelings start to wear off and some of the other feelings start to kick in. Maybe some self-doubt starts to kick in, or just, tiredness or things like that, that can start to wane a little bit. And then you're kind of like, okay, well, now what? It's definitely, motivation is going to stem from just a human drive to want to achieve. So again, when you're setting that goal, you're out to achieve something, you're going to have a natural drive, a natural instinct to want to complete that goal. And that's going to be some of your motivation. Discipline, on the other hand, is a lot more long lasting. It's got the longevity. You're essentially training yourself, you're training your brain to develop a habit that you are just going to unconsciously fall back on or continue day to day to day, whether you have the motivation behind you or not. So, discipline is going to be like, it's going to give you that ability to continue to push through when motivations may be worn off or the drive isn't necessarily there from that, but you've now created that habit, and you've got that discipline to fall back on. I know, like for me, just as an example, Autumn is she is my favorite trainer, but I love her. And you'll hear her say that a lot too, like in her videos, and I feel too, where she's like, I'm not feeling it today, but I'm disciplined. It's the motivation today is not here, but I am disciplined and I'm going to do what I said I'm going to do because I haven't made a commitment to myself. And I feel like I kind of, for me, it ebbs and flows. And so, like, that's why I say I don't feel like one's better than the other, because I definitely do have times where I go back and like the motivation kicks in and I'm ready to go. And then I have days where I'm like, it's the discipline that's got me going today because the motivation's not there. The emotions are kicking in, the tiredness is kicking in. So the first thing, the first activity that I want us to do is, if you have your pen and paper handy, I want you to think about a goal that you either made for this year or one that you are working towards or a new goal that you have. So some examples, this can be anything, but some examples would be, I want to lose 30 pounds. I want to grow my team in Rake Advance. I want to pay off credit card debt or just any debt in general. I want to stop drinking alcohol or stop eating sweets or some other, just addiction that's not helpful to my health. The example I'm going to use is I want to work out 5 days a week. So whatever that goal is, I want you to write that down and have that in front of you. And I'll give you a couple seconds. Okay, so everybody has your goal. Now I want you to think about what are things that are going to motivate you to hit that goal. And I want you to write those down as well. Like, what are some things that you know that in a pinch or in short term that you can fall back on that are going to help motivate you? So that could be like, maybe your goal is to lose weight. So you've got, a pair of shorts or a bikini or a shirt or something that you want to be able to wear on a vacation in 30 days. And you've got that hanging in your bedroom or your bathroom. So you're seeing that every day. Maybe it's your vision board that we created around Thanksgiving time, or one that you've created around the new year that has some things that you see every day that you're looking at, that you're striving towards, that you have on your board. Maybe it's your why. We've had trainings on what is your why in creating that, and what is that rooted in. Maybe it's, a motivational quote that speaks to you. I know Katie had some really good ones on the call the other day, things that she reads or affirmations that kind of help motivate you. Or maybe it's watching a motivational video. But we all have those things that, you see it, you hear it, you say it, and it's going to motivate you. So I want you to think about your goal specifically, and then what are some things that you know are your motivators. Okay. So, like I said before, those are all things, they're very important. They're all things that are going to absolutely keep you motivated, but they're more helpful when you're getting started, not necessarily going to carry you through on the hard days. Because again, when you're starting something, you're excited about it, but that feeling can be fleeting as well. So, like, I think about an example, and I talked about just like working out, 9 week Control Freak, probably hands down still my favorite program that I've done. We had like our hype group going, like leading into it. And pretty much most of us on this call, I believe, all did 9 week Control Freak. So you guys remember that feeling. Like the weeks leading up to it, was just like super exciting. Weeks 1 through 3, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the best program ever. I love it. Like, I was 100% all in every single day. I woke up super excited to get my workout in. Like, that was my jam. Weeks 4 through 6, I'm like, all right, I'm still loving it. We're in the next phase. Like, this is cool. But some of that was starting to wear off. Some of the newness was starting to wear off a little bit. Still got up and did it every day. I still was excited about it, but it was starting to wear off a little bit. Weeks 9 through 7, I legit thought autumn was trying to kill all of us. And I was like, I love this program and I love the results, but I'm ready. I'm ready to move on because some of that had worn off. But I finished the freaking program because I had that discipline, and I was committed, and was committed to you guys, was committed to myself, was committed to my goal. I was going to get it done. But the motivation piece of it at that point had worn off. The newness of the program, the excitement around, hey, it's something new, it's a totally different structure than what we're used to, like those types of things had worn off. Still loved it, still my favorite, but definitely, like, the initial just motivation of getting started, that wasn't going to carry me through those 9 weeks, especially how hard it got at the end, when I did think I almost died a couple times. So you guys know what I'm talking about that did it. So my point is, though, the motivation is going to wear off, and you need to fall back on it. So how do we do that? Self-discipline and willpower, there are many, many, many studies about this, but it is like a muscle. It's something that the more you practice, you will get better. Anytime you've done anything hard and you realize that, like, the more that you do it, the more it becomes a habit, the easier it is. So it can be strengthened over time, just like any other muscle in your body, including your brain, including anything. So what I want you to do now is get your piece of paper back out and go back to your goal. And you've got your motivation there. But now we're going to kind of flip it a little bit and say, all right, now how are we going to make ourselves disciplined so the days that are hard, we can push through those? So what I want you to do is look at your goal and write down 3 tangible things that you can do every day to hit that goal. So let's set a timeline of, for the next 30 days, what are 3 things that you can do every day that are going to help you meet that goal? So for me, is in the example of I want to work out 5 days a week, that will be, I'm going to set a specific time every day that I'm going to work out. I'm going to make sure I post my sweaty selfie. So I've got some accountability for sure, help me to stay disciplined. And I'm going to make sure I get a good night's sleep so I don't have the excuse of I'm tired, so I can't wake up and I can't get my workout in. So those will be my 3 tangible things. So think about your goal and what you can do every day that are going to help you get to that goal. Okay. So the intention here, what we're doing is we're going to commit to doing those actions every day for 30 days with the intention of building a habit. So on the days that you're struggling and you're looking back at what you wrote down as things that are going to motivate you and those aren't working, you're still going to push through. You're still going to do those things because you are working towards building a habit. You're going to use that motivation because there's going to be days that it's going to work. There's going to be days that you can read that quote, you can look at your vision board and it's going to push through, but there's going to be days that you're just not going to feel like it. Your emotions are going to take hold. You're going to feel, lazy one day, maybe. You're going to be frustrated about maybe a result that you're getting, or you're not going as fast as you'd like. Maybe something's happened and you're, feeling depressed, or you're feeling anxious, or you're feeling sad. You're maybe going to have days that you're just like bored of what you're doing. That is where I want you to focus on building your discipline, your self-discipline, and your willpower muscle. So just like with working out, there's days that your muscles are sore. There's days that you don't feel like doing it, but when you've committed to it, you're getting it done. So I want you to take that same discipline that you're creating with your fitness routine and use that here too to create the habit. No matter what, push through, just continue to work on that. And what you'll find is that as you're starting to build a habit, so for me, again, I use the example of working out 5 days a week. What I've found is over the course of the last year or two that I've been extremely consistent is that when I get up in the morning, I don't even think about it. I don't even question whether or not I'm going to get my workout in. It's literally not even a question. I'm going to do it. I'm going to make the time for it. I don't doubt it because it has become such a huge part of just what I do. It has become that habit that it's not even a question. So think about the things that you have on your list, what that goal is, and doing your 3 things that are going to turn that goal into a habit so that whatever it is, you will achieve it. You will achieve it even on the days that you don't have the motivation, because it's just that it is a habit. It's something that you're not even consciously thinking of. When I wake up in the morning, I honestly am making, I put workout clothes on if I didn't sleep in them, because sometimes I sleep in them because then that's one less thing to have to do in the morning. But I literally get up and I know I'm going to work out today. I don't have to think about it. So whatever that goal is, whatever those things are that you're going to do to get to that goal, we want that to become your habits. So you're not thinking about it. In developing any kind of change, any kind of behavior change is hard. It's going to be hard when you're stretching yourself, when you're moving outside of your comfort zone. It's going to be hard, and that I don't want to downplay that at all, but that's where you have to be better. You have to be stronger. You have to be willing to push through, because if it's something that you really want, you should be willing to fight for it. You should be willing to put in the time and the effort to get that result or hit that goal that you want. But it's not going to be easy. Remember, we can do hard things. That's one of my favorite things. It was in Untamed. It was Rachel Hollis says it, but it is absolutely true. if you just think back on your life, like all like things that have happened to you over your life, I'm sure you can come up with so many that you look at now, like, how did I get through that? Because as human, as people, as individuals, we can do hard things. We can get through things that you can't even fathom at the time that you're in them, that you're going to get through them, but you will get through them. So keep that in mind. Distractions can be tough. You need to figure out, how are you going to push past distractions, because those are going to come up, absolutely, that are going to keep you from getting, hitting your goal. You just got to keep pushing, keep working on it, just like any other muscle, like we talked about. Let's see. I think that was pretty much all of my notes. So does everybody have your list? I want you to keep, whenever you get up and in the first thing you see in the morning, like some people say, like, don't put your phone next to your bed, because then that's the first thing you see and you're immediately distracted or whatever else. So my challenge to you is, whatever the first thing is that you normally see or go to or gravitate towards in the morning, whether it be your phone or your toothbrush, whatever it is, I want you to keep your list for the next 30 days in that spot or next to that thing, so that when you wake up, that's the first thing you see, and your mind starts to click into, what am I going to do to make sure I get those 3 things done, so that I'm building my habit, so that I'm working towards my goal, so that when the motivation's not there, I have that discipline and I'm going to get to where I want to be. Okay. All right. Any questions? Anybody want to share what their goal is? No?
Don't be shy. Anybody?
My business goal. It's really loud.
Share it up.
Here. Hold on, she's being so noisy. There, I feel like that. So my immediate business goal is to get to 2-star diamond. That's forefront with all the things I'm doing right now. So
Great.
So
and that's the thing,
exciting.
like, you know what those actions are that you need to do. You know how easy it is to not do them. And you have to be disciplined. You have to just freaking do.
My alarm says it. Like when my alarm goes off in the morning, it's on my phone. My daughter is a huge part of my why. So like I always have like a picture of her on my phone screen, like on my lock and my home screen. I have written on my mirror in the morning, like, Kate, I have written there, you're a 15-star coach, but like I have like any like goals that I'm working towards or something, or if I'm like struggling with some sort of a mindset thing, like I just keep a dry erase marker in there and I just write it all down. So I kind of, like, for me, I'm a visual person when it comes to goals and stuff. So like having this constant, because like Mindy said, I mean, doing it isn't all that hard, like the steps. It's just reminding yourself why you need to keep waking up and doing it. So,
and for me, like, I'm a list maker. So I literally, I'm using my notebook to prop up my computer, but I literally will write out every single day everything that I'm going to do to work towards my goal, and I have to do it and check that box. So whether you're using the business activity tracker, if it's business related or whatnot, but I literally will write the same list of things down every single day and do the action and check the box, because I know that, like, for me, that is just reinforcing that's creating that habit, that is giving me the sense of like, check accomplishment, that I did it, that I'm working towards it. Like, there's just something about that for me, that's what I have to do to make sure that I'm working on it. Good.
That's good tips. Yeah, anybody else? By the way, 2-star is happening.
Yeah.
Mine was 5-star. Because that's happening too.
We're getting there.
Yeah. All right,
Good.
girls. Mindy, thank you so much for leading. That was awesome information. Hopefully you girls take that and read over that every day. Like, visualize what you're working towards and what your goals are and why you want to achieve those particular goals, and take those steps forward. It's every day. Like we were talking before we jumped on this call, like not every day is super sexy and not every day goes according to plan. And there are some days you're super overwhelmed and there are days you feel like you are crushing life and you could just keep going. So know that it's not just you. Know that we all feel those ebbs and flows. But go after those goals that you've set for yourself for sure. Yeah. All right, cool. Thank you everybody for being on tonight. I'll get the recording up. Have a good night.